Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abam. We're continuing in Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Kuf Ches, Seif, Yud Aleph. We just encountered the amazing Machlokes between Rabbeinu Yehuda and the Chachmei Pronencia, which first plays out in a situation where you made a mistake mincha by Shabbos, and you did not daven the Shabbos Shemona Esrei, you davened the weekday Shemona Esrei. So you have to daven twice Matzah Shabbos. Do you or do you not? Let's think about it. The guy davened the weekday Shemona Esrei. He davened. The only thing is he said a weekday. So now what? We're going to make him say two maravs and daven a weekday Shemona Esrei for not davening a Shabbos Shemona Esrei? He already davened the weekday Shemona Esrei. The problem is he didn't daven a Shabbos Shemona Esrei. So does that make sense to require him to daven a weekday Shemona Esrei? This is the famous Machlokes Rabbeinu Yehuda and the Chachmei Pronencia quoted by Tosfos and Brachos. Rabbeinu Yehuda holds, no, you're not going to daven again. He already davened Shemona Esrei. This guy is not lacking in Shemona Esrei. What he's lacking in is Haskaras Shabbos. Well, he's not accomplishing that by davening two maravs. So Rabbeinu Yehuda would say, he doesn't daven again. How the lashon of Tosfos says, Ma yarviach b'tfilasa. He's not profiting anything. However, the Chachmei Pronencia hold that if you didn't say Shabbos, you're not just missing a hazkara, you were meshanami mimatbeya shetavu chachamim, and therefore you need to daven again. You didn't daven, so now I'm davening. So what do we tell you to do? Daven again as make a tanai. If I'm chayiv, like the Chachmei Pronencia, it should be l'chiyuvi. And if I'm pater, like Rabbeinu Yehuda, then it should be a nadava. As we mentioned, you can't do this on Shabbos. In Mishna Berura, Sif Katan Lamed Gimel yesterday, we spoke about, let's say you didn't daven Matzah Shabbos, and you're davening Sunday morning, one for Chiyuv and one for Tashlumin. What exactly do you do? The Knesset Hagdolah says in the name of the Radvaz that you should say you should not say Ata Chanantanu, even though you didn't make Havdalah yet. Because Ata Chanantanu, now the Magen Avraham says he has no idea why. Why would that be? The Magen Gibarim explains you don't say Ata Chanantanu because you're chayiv to be mavdil. They were not masakin tashlumin for davar sheyesh le takana. So since Ata Chanantanu has a takana mavdala, you do not make it up. Yesterday we spoke out that the Bir Halacha says that the Pri Megadim holds that you only say Ata Chanantanu in the second one. And the Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Chaim Brisker says you should say it in the first one. And we said that is more oila al adas, because there's no din that you have to say Ata Chanantanu in Marev. The din is in the first Shemona Esrei after Shabbos. Lamaisa, the Bir Halacha. No, you have to be mavdil b'tefillah.
You could say I'm mavdil b'kodesh.
Yeah, but you still have to say it in tefillah, even if you say I'm mavdil b'kodesh l'chal.
When you mavdil al kodesh, you don't say it in tefillah afterwards.
That's because they were masakin that before your mavdil al kodesh, you should say it in tefillah. It's a takana. The Chazal were masakin havdalah. Now, the Lamaisa, the psak of the Bir Halacha was one second. Let's say you were mavdil ala kois. You don't say Ata Chanantanu in either. And if you were not mavdil ala kois, then we only make it in the second one. So Lamaisa, the Bir Halacha comes out now like Rabbi Kiva. Okay, so now we sort of begin today's. Because now let's continue the Mechaber. Let's say like this. You didn't mention Yal V'Yava in Mincha and Rosh Chodesh, and now you have to daven two maravs, and it's no longer Rosh Chodesh. So, does it make sense to daven two maravs if it's no longer Rosh Chodesh? Rabbeinu Yehuda would say, the problem is not you didn't daven Shemona Esrei, you davened Shemona Esrei. The problem is you didn't say Al V'Yavai. So Rabbeinu Yehuda would say there's no point in davening Shemona Esrei again without a Yal V'Yavai to make up for a Shemona Esrei that you didn't say Yal V'Yavai. The Chachmei Pronencia would say, well, if he didn't say Yal V'Yavai, he didn't daven. If he didn't daven, he has to daven again. So what do we do? The guy davens again with the Tanai. If the halacha is like the Chachmei Pronencia, then it's for my Chiyuv. If the halacha is like the Rabbeinu Yehuda, then it's a tfilas nadava. Says the Mishnah Berura. V'hu adin imra tzolomer shenochain gamkein lespala ba'arves tefila shnia lahashlama. If you missed Yal V'Yavai mincha, you should daven a second mincha, a second marav as a tashlumin uvetaras nadava. V'hainu gamkein mitam hanal. For the above mentioned reason, you're not accomplishing anything in this tefillah. You're not going to say Yal V'Yavai now. Rosh Chodesh already passed. And to say Shemona Esrei without Yal V'Yavai, I already did that. But if that night is Rosh Chodesh, then everyone would agree you have to daven. The Chachmei Pronencia would say, I didn't daven, so you need to daven. Rabbeinu Yehuda would say, you are marviach, because it's Rosh Chodesh now. So if the night is Rosh Chodesh, you do not make a t'nai, and you do not daven it as a tfilas nadav, you daven as a tfilas chiyuv. Aval b'layla, gam kein Rosh Chodesh, if the night is also Rosh Chodesh, so kuli alma yispalel, according to everyone you would daven, d'hayar v'yach she'emar Yal V'Yavai, kein kazam magen Avram, v'eskimu imai ha achroinim, the night of Yehuda Ma'aseh Darchaim Chai Adam, and not like the binyan arihal. Oid kasav amagin Avram. Du adin belel yom tov sheni. Ratz v'ratz alaymer. Im espalo shachol b'mincha shel yom tov rishon. Let's say the first day of Pesach in Chutz La'aretz. You daven the weekday Shemona Esrei. Or let's say you've been living in Eretz Yisrael your whole life, but now Mashiach comes. So now you're going to be keeping 2 days. So on the first day, you said a weekday Shemona Esrei. So what do? Everyone would agree you have to make it up at night. Why? Because you're gaining, you're davening Yom Tov. Meaning like this. If you forget by Mincha on the second day of Yom Tov and you daven a weekday Shemona Esrei, and you're going to have to daven 2 marivs. So Rabbeinu Yehuda would say, what do you mean you can daven 2 marivs? You can daven a weekday Shemona Esrei to make up for having davened the weekday Shemona Esrei. So you'll daven a second one and you make a t'nai that if you should not be davening it, it will be l'nadava. But if you make this mistake on the first day of Yom Tif and the second night is Yom Tif, then even Rabbeinu Yehuda would say, you are accomplishing by davening another Shemona Esrei because you're davening a Yom Tif Dika Shemona Esrei for having not davened the Yom Tif Shemona Esrei. Uvesefer tzlach cholak al zeh hadin hasheni. The Rabbi Yehuda holds that if you forgot, if you daven the weekday mincha on the first day of Yom Tif, you do not daven 2 marivs that night. Veheviyoi b'chidusher b'kiv eger, v'ayim b'machzas hashakel u'magein giborim. What is the svara of the Rabbi Yehuda? Why does the Rabbi Yehuda say, you don't do this? He says, a ga'oina she'en kamayo. You ready for this? The Dirsha brings down, says the Rabbi Yehuda, if you forgot and you daven the weekday Shemona Esrei on the first day of Yom Tov, what do you want to do? You want to daven 2 marivs as a Yom Tov Dika Shemona Esrei? How do you go back and daven a second marav, and again, this second marav, you're davening a Yom Tov Shemona Esrei, but Yom Tov Sheni is a suffix. So if you're davening saying, no, it's not a suffix, it's Yom Tov. Well, if it's Yom Tov, then the first day wasn't Yom Tov. Well, if the first day wasn't Yom Tov, then you said the right Shemona Esrei. So you hear it? What do you want to do? You're saying, well, I'm in big trouble, I davened the weekday Shemona Esrei. You davened the weekday Shemona Esrei? Oh, so you're saying the first day is Yom Tif? But if you're saying the first day is Yom Tif, then the second day is not Yom Tif. If the second day is not Yom Tif, then you should not be saying a Yom Tif Dika Shemona Esrei. So if you're davening a Yom Tif, your misbar, the first day was Choil, then you daven correctly. I would have said, and most Achroinim say, no. But Lamaisa, we treat it, whether it might be fundamentally a suffix, but we treat it as a Yom Tif. Now, on the first day, I needed to daven a Yom Tif Dika Shemona Esrei, and I didn't, and I have to daven again. and now I'm allowed to daven a Yom Tov Tikkush Shemona Esrei because it's Yom Tov Sheni. We don't treat it as a suffix. Anyway, but that's the Rabbi Yehuda's Chiddush. So all you residents of Eretz Yisrael, you used to have to be very worried about when Mashiach coming and keeping 2 days and then forgetting you might daven a weekday Shemona Esrei on the first day. Okay.
What about this Friday when we start saying the same Talmud of the Rock? We forget by Mincha, you daven Friday night twice.
Ah, very good. First, I want to point out this Friday is the most important day of the year. This Friday is the most important day of the year. Some people think, oh, it's Yom Kippur. Some people think most important day of the year is my birthday. That might be true. Some people say the most important day of the year was election day. That also might be true. But the Gemara says, Gadol Yom HaGeshamim Yoiser Miyom Shenitna B'Torah. The day of rain is greater than the day the Torah was given. So Yeager says, well, let's say in Eretz Yisrael, right? They start Zayin Cheshvan. We don't start yet, but on Zayin Cheshvan they start V'sein Talamat Levracha. Let's say you forgot by Mincha V'sein Talamat Levracha, and now you want to daven Mariv twice. Now, right? So you have to make it up. You didn't say V'sein Talamat Levracha. So you're going to daven Mariv twice, but in Mariv there's no Barech Aleinu. So this is a famous Machlokes between Reb Chaim Brisker and Reb Tzvi Pesach Frank. Listen to this. Reb Chaim Brisker says, if you didn't say V'sein Talamat, he says this in the stencil, if you didn't say V'sein Talamat Levracha, it's like you didn't daven. You didn't daven. Even Rabbeinu Yehuda, listen to this, Lamdas Reb Chaim Brisker. Even though we said that Rabbeinu Yehuda would say, Ma herviach, what are you accomplishing by davening again at night? There's no Baruch Aleinu at night. That's when you omit Yalav V'Yavai, because Yalav V'Yavai, you davened, you just left out an addition. V'sein Talamat Levracha is not a insert. V'sein Talamat Levracha is me'ikar tzuras hatfila. So everybody would agree you don't daven. Everybody would agree that you would have to daven twice Friday night. Comes the Har Tzvi, says you're wrong. Not only would V'sein Talamat Levracha be like Yalav V'Yavai, it's more than Yalav V'Yavai. You know why? Let's say you don't say V'sein Talamat Levracha by Baruch Aleinu. You could stick it in Shema Koleinu. That shows it's not Me'ikar Tzuras HaTfilah. It's just an insert. So just an insert, then everyone would agree Ma herviach. Perhaps. And everyone would agree you shouldn't daven. So what do you do, halacha l'maisa, if you forgot it? You can't make it tonight and say, if I'm chayev, it's for my chiyev, and if I'm not chayev, it's an adava. You can't daven at Tuas and Dam on Shabbos. If you forget V'sein Talmater by this mincha, you're up the creek without a paddle. It's very dangerous. I know people who left Eretz Yisrael this week just to avoid this issue. No, I don't think that was the reason that they left, but it happens to be a good week. If you have to leave, it's a very dangerous Friday.
Whenever you switch over.
No, it's actually any Friday you forget V'sein Talamat Levracha. It's just this one is more likely, right?
And whenever someone's going back, like he was there on Zion Cheshvan, I think the halacha is that he's supposed to say Talamat or Shema Koleinu. But if you forgot it there, I guess he would.
Would he go back? Would that guy who says, I don't think he goes back, right? It's Machlokes. Okay, weiter.
I don't know how they leave Eretz Yisrael anyway. They can't hear.
No, that's Friday. They leave before. They could leave like many days before. Just yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Weiter. Oh, Yalav V'Yavai. One second. Yalav V'Yavai. B'diyuka. Naka Yalav V'Yavai. The Mechari B'Yalav V'Yavai b'diyuk. Im shachach talu matar. Ay mash ruch b'Shabbos. V'Rosh Chodesh b'Mincha. If you forget V'sein talu matar or mash ruch on Shabbos. On what? The im shachach tal umatar. Ay mash ruch b'Shabbos. How is there tal umatar on Shabbos? if you forgot the same talumatar on a weekday, or masruach b'Shabbos v'Rosh Chodesh b'Mincha, oy sheshachach shar davar hamatzricha lachzor l'spal, kol yam yispal b'erev shtayim, da yarviach zeh b'tfilas hatashlumin. What does it mean talumatar on Shabbos?
I think they're two separate statements. If you forgot talumatar, or
On a weekday, or masruach on Shabbos, or okay, shel Rosh Chodesh. Im chal Rosh Chodesh b'erev Shabbos. If Rosh Chodesh came out erev Shabbos, v'hoya Rosh Chodesh rak yom echad, and there was only one day Rosh Chodesh. V'shachach b'mincha lahazker shel Rosh Chodesh. You forgot by mincha to say yal v'yavai. V'niskar achar shechashecha. So what do? It's a machlokes, and you can't say a tashlumin. Ein lahashem klal b'leil Shabbos kiven de eno mayol klum. It's not going to help at all. Now the Dirshu brings down what we discussed. Reb Chaim Brisker says you have to go back because you're Mishna, and he brings from the Har Tzvi. Oh, that Reb Shlomo Zalman also says it's like Yalav Yavai. Okay, by the way, the case of the Mishnah Berura is the im shachach talumatar. No, okay. Im lo yisal shachris v'yom rishon shel Pesach. Let's say you forgot shachris on the first day of Pesach, uv'yom shmini atzeres, and now kishamashlam b'mincha yispal tfilos shavos. When you daven by mincha, you're going to daven the same tefillah. V'im ta b'tashlumim v'spala k'may sh'oisa ruya l'spal b'shachris einoi chayzer. What does that mean? Let's say I didn't daven shachris on the first day of Pesach. Now on the first day of Pesach, I have to stop saying Mashrach Maragoshem. So by mincha, I guess I'm either not going to say. Either I'm not going to say Masharach by both, or I'm going to say by both. But let's say I made a mistake by the Tashlumin, meaning like this: Shachris on the first day of Pesach, you don't say Masharach. You do say Masharach Maragasham. Mincha, you don't say it. So I'm davening Mincha. I'm not saying it. In the second one, I'm not supposed to say it either. But if I said it because I'm making up for Shachris, I won't go back. Let's like this. Let's say I didn't daven mincha on the day, before the day that I start saying Talamat L'Bracha. Saying Talamat L'Bracha, what? They start at night, right? In America, they start at night. Or in Eretz Yisrael, they start at night. And I didn't say mincha then. Umispalel arvis shtayim. Yishal matar b'shtayim. You should ask for rain in both. But if the evidem loy shal b'shal tashlumin yatsa v'ayim beber halacha. Okay, Rabbi said we'll hold it over here. Shkayach. Hatzlacha.
Recording stopped.
Yeah.